you're still waiting for that right moment to finally start whatever it is. You're still waiting for that moment to finally start going to the gym, or to finally start training harder, to finally take your diet or your bulk for real, to finally take your job for real, whatever it is. You're sitting there waiting for yourself to finally take that first step. And as you just sit there waiting, it kind of gets pushed further and further away, and then you start to feel like you waited a little too long, so now it's pointless and there's no reason to start. This is what happens when you push things off. If you just push things off over and over again, it gets more difficult to start. If you click snooze on the alarm multiple times in the morning, it gets more difficult to wake up. If you put off going to the gym, it gets more difficult to show up. The longer you put things off, the more difficult they get. They don't get easier, they get harder. And that's not a reason for you to say, oh, well, now it's going to be too hard. No. Dude, stop giving yourself so many damn excuses. Like, stop telling yourself, oh, it's too hard, I'm going to hurt myself, I'm going to get sick, or this and that. Stop giving yourself so many excuses to not do what you want to do, to not do what you know you need to do. Stop telling yourself it's because so-and-so family member that you live with or lives with you isn't going to like it. Stop telling yourself that you can't do X, Y, and Z thing because your parents it's not going to make your parents the most happy. Or your friends, or your girlfriend, or whatever. Like, stop not doing what you want and need to do just because it's not going to make somebody else happy. You can't please every single person in this world. You just can't. There's always going to be somebody that's upset with something you do. And it's pointless to not do the things that you know you need to and want to do just because it's going to upset somebody else and they're not going to want you to do it. Because no matter what, whether you do or don't do that thing, they're going to find something else to get annoyed with you about. They're going to find something else to pick at you about. It's like when you're a fucking kid and you cleaned your room and you fucking did all your chores or whatever, and then your parents come and they're like, oh, well, you missed this, or when your boss fucking goes and tells you to do something and you get everything, you need done, but you're like, maybe you forgot one small thing, like to fucking hang a hanger back up or whatever it was, I don't know. And then they go and bitch at you for that. It's like, you did all these great things, but they point out the one flaw that you made. And just because everybody's always pointing out the one flaw that you had, or the one flaw that you made, or however many it was, you're using all of those as excuses and reasons to not do what you need to do. You're wasting your damn time. There's no point. It's the most pointless thing to just keep on pushing things off. Because you got the pain that you're going to endure from knowing that you're pushing it off, and you have the pain you're going to endure from just doing the thing. But if you just do the thing, the pain's going to be over with as soon as it's done. Versus pushing it off, it's going to get greater and greater. And even if it's something you have to do day in and day out, the pain still gets greater and greater because you're putting it off day in and day out. Versus just doing it, you're just doing it every day and you know it's done. Like, it's not very complicated stuff. I mean, you're wasting so much time not finally doing whatever it is that you want or need to do. And it's just sad to see so many people waste so much time and let so many other people control them just because of what somebody else is thinking or what somebody else might be thinking. Like, people won't do things they think somebody might not approve of it. You don't even know for sure if they're going to approve of it or not, and you're still not doing it. Why? Oh, it makes no sense. And if you look at it, you know, you're either living an extreme amount of fear, or you're just giving yourself an excuse to not do something. And if you're in an extreme amount of fear, then the only way to get through that is to actually do it. You're never gonna get over the fear unless you do the thing. And if you're just being lazy about it, well, you just got to start doing it then. You just got to stop putting off whatever you're putting off, because it's only going to hurt more and more. And there's no point in inflicting more pain on yourself in a way that's not going to benefit you. Don't keep self-sabotaging on purpose just to self-sabotage because you don't think you're valuable enough, or you don't think you're worthy of accepting good things. Like, majority of the self-sabotage that happens and that people do is still out of laziness. People will self-sabotage and not do something that they want to or need to do, and then blame it on a lack of self-worth or something. And it's like, dude, no, all you're really doing is just being lazy. And the lack of self-worth is coming from being lazy. So if you would just stop being lazy, you're just going to get through it and be over with it and deal with it. And you're going to get fucking stressed out. You're going to get worried about whatever it is that you're doing. But that's not the reason to not do it. That's the very reason you should do the thing. You can talk about it, think about it, write about it. That's all great. It's all great stuff. It's going to help you stay locked in. It's going to help you, you know, constantly remember what you're doing and everything. But it's not actually going to get it done. So just get it done. If it comes down between writing it down every single day that you're going to start working out versus just going and working out and not writing down that you're going to work out, just go and work out. Like, if you can do both and you can write down your workout goals every single day, that's great. That, you know, that's going to help you. But don't use that, you know, don't use the fact that you can't write shit down as a reason to not go to the gym. And don't use writing shit down as a reason to not go either. Like, just start going. You're not going to start feeling better about yourself until you start improving yourself. And how do you improve yourself? You get in better shape. You get healthier. You start to look better. You take care of yourself more. You know, it's like you're not going to just start feeling better and then start going. It doesn't work in that order. Everything works in an order. It has to work in an order for it to work. You start going to the gym and you see the discipline that you're giving yourself, and you start to feel better about yourself. And people are going to pick on you. People are going to tell you, oh, look at you now doing this. And, oh, you're wasting your time because you're still this and that. It doesn't matter what they say. You're still going to do it. Because you know that's the only way that you can get through it. You know that's the only way to be able to ignore what they're saying. Other people are going to try to pull you down. That's just what other people do. But you still have to do whatever it is that you need to do in order to make it work. Because that's the only thing that's actually going to bring that fulfillment inside of you. That's the only thing that's actually going to make you feel worthy of whatever it is. You know, that's the only thing that's going to give you that self-confidence. That's the only thing that's going to give you that energy and that motivation, that drive. The motivation doesn't just come. And the motivation is never always there. But you build it through the things that you do constantly every single day. So if you're doing things constantly every single day that are depleting your motivation, depleting your energy, why are you doing them? Why? You don't have to. You don't have to follow every rule that every single person wants you to. You have to follow what you know is going to make it work for you. And you have to stop lying to yourself and find what your truth is. Find out what's going to work for you. And I'm going to tell you, what worked for me is getting healthier, getting in better shape. It just makes you feel better about yourself. It makes you look better. You can think that you are the ugliest person on earth, and you can look at yourself in the mirror and be dirty as hell and grimy and gross. All you got to do to fix that? Start exercising. Maybe start washing your face when you take a shower. Change your pillowcases so that more often, so that you're not sleeping in the same oil on your face and it's not giving you acne. Put clean clothes on. You don't have to buy some expensive Young LA or whatever it may be. Dude, one of my favorite shirts are from Target. It's like $8 for one shirt. And it's all black and it looks great. I wear them like almost every day. And it's like, you don't have to spend a bunch of money on there's so many things that are easily affordable that will make you feel so much better about yourself. And it's like, don't be that guy that is telling other people, oh, you just need all these things to make you feel good about yourself because you don't feel good about yourself inside. It's like, well, you shouldn't feel good about yourself inside if you're a lazy slob that is overweight, doesn't help themselves, all they do is feast their face all day. Like, why should you feel good about that? You shouldn't. You should feel awful about that. The whole point is to do all these things to feel good about yourself because you're creating something of yourself and you're becoming someone. You're becoming something great. Of course that's going to make you feel good, and that's supposed to. All these people that give themselves validation and that say, oh, don't compare yourself to others and this and that. It's like, what the fuck? Damn, that shit done fell. But as I was saying, so many people say that comparison is the thief of joy. But if you're not comparing yourself to other people, then you're never going to become something greater. If you're only comparing yourself to yourself, then that means you're the pinnacle of everything. That means that everything you do is the best thing and the right thing. I mean, to me, that kind of sounds a little egotistical. If you're comparing yourself to others, comparing yourself to, well, this person's doing more. This person does this and I'm not. It's going to push you to start to do those things. It's going to push you to start to do more. It's going to bring something out of you that says, I need to do more. And that's the only way you're going to become better. Not by lying to yourself. And you don't need to be, comparing yourself to some millionaire, billionaire that, can do whatever they want because they've already accomplished every single goal in their life. now they're doing this and that. You don't need to say, oh, well, I'm not there, so I don't need to be. But you can look at that person and say, okay, well, that's something I want to strive towards. And what are the things I have to do each and every day to become that person, to be able to do those things? And you just, dude, you got to bring more out of yourself. You got to do something with yourself. You got to stop, wanting to be that person that says, oh, I did this all on my own. I got no help from anybody. We hear all these songs and shit like that and lyrics, and it's always like, oh, I made this by myself. It's like the majority of those people that say made this by myself in whatever rap song or whatever song you listen to, one, they didn't make it by themselves. They got a record label that paid them out or whatever. And even then, yes, they did do a bunch of work to put themselves in that position, but it puts this persona on things that, like, people think they need to accept no help, and they need to do everything 100% on their own and be this lone wolf and do this and that on their own and go on some Sigma adventure and all this other shit. And it's like, dude, accept if there's somebody that's gonna help you with something, just accept the help. And if you see somebody that can teach you something, take the lessons from them. You don't need to try to do it all on your own and figure it out on your own. And it's like, at the same time though, that is figuring it out on your own. You're the person who still found said person. You're the person who still contacted that person and said, mentor me, coach me, teach me how to do this and that. You still went out and found that person, and you still learned from them, and then you still had to put in the work. So you still did do it by yourself in a way. It's not like somebody was holding your hand through the whole thing. And that's what a lot of these people mean. Gotta defrost this windshield here. That's what a lot of people mean when, they say that they did it by themselves or whatever. They still had help on the way. They still had people that did things for them that they couldn't do. And not in the sense that, like, carried them through life and held their damn hand, but there's still people that taught them things. They still had mentors. But they still had to endure. They still had to wake up each and every day. They still had to get themselves out of bed. They still had to be the one that showed up for themselves. And that is what doing it all on your own means. Someone didn't just follow you around every single second of the day, pat you on the head and say, if you fall, I'll catch you. You don't need that, because that's not going to teach you things. But at the same time, you don't need to do 1,000% of everything on your own. It's okay to accept information from other people. Everybody is always learning all the time. I am always listening to things from other people and trying to see what I can learn. And it's like, just because maybe you don't like something that somebody else says or somebody else tells you, that's great. But you can still try to use that information as a perspective of some sort. Say some person's trying to give you life advice, and they've amounted to nothing in their life, and they're 60 years old. And they're trying to give you all this life advice and tell you things you should and shouldn't do. It's like, okay, well, maybe everything they say is shit, but you at least are, you at least know, okay, maybe I shouldn't do those things. Listen to the things they're telling you that they did and that they think were great, and you see where their position is, and you say, okay, maybe when I think if I want to do that specific thing, maybe I should actually, instead of doing it because he said, I should question that. And then you're still learning from them. So, you can, man, you can do so much in this life, and you can really change so much, and you're going to have times where it's up and down, and you're going to have times where life is going great for a while, and then it's shit for a while. And just because it's like that isn't a reason to not do something. You're not supposed to only do things when it feels great to do it. You're not supposed to only get up when you feel the best to get up. You're supposed to do it no matter what and regardless, and still push through and do the things you need to do to make it work. Because as soon as you make it work and as soon as you do figure it out, even if it takes fucking years, dude, even if it takes years, I'm still trying to figure it out. It's been years. But once you do figure it out, now you can go back and you can optimize, you can readjust. You can think, okay, I made it. I've gotten to my goal. I've gotten to whatever goal I was trying to achieve. Now I can kind of look back and delete the habits that I didn't need that I picked up on the way. And I can add in ones I think that I should add in. I can experiment with new ones. And if it doesn't work, go back to a way it used to be that worked out for you. And then move forward again. It's like you're going to figure it out eventually. You're not going to just keep on pushing through and keep on trying and putting in all your effort every single day, day in and day out, and fail. It's not going to happen. You're going to fail over and over again, but in the end, you're going to figure something out. And even it's like, even if you figure out that a lot of things you did didn't really have meaning and they didn't matter, you learned about life. And life is about learning things. But what you are going to learn is that the thing that does matter is working on yourself. Feeling better about yourself because you do things that make you feel better about yourself. Not because you do things that make you feel worse. You don't have to kick your habits, you don't have to kick your hobbies just because you enjoy them. You don't have to stop doing certain things that bring you joy. You just got to eliminate the few things that are just not suiting you and not putting benefit into your life, because those things that are not putting benefit in your life are probably putting more hurt than harm, and you probably don't enjoy them as much as you really think you do. You going out to eat at Raising Cane's or at McDonald's every week or whatever with your buddies or whatever it may be. You think you enjoy that. You might enjoy having food with them or whatever, but I'm sure you'd enjoy going to the gym a whole lot more and actually spending time all improving yourself together. That'd be a whole lot more enjoyable than you guys all just feasting at McDonald's. The only reason it feels good that you guys all feast at McDonald's is because you're doing it together, because you're all in the same vibe. And it's like, it it feels okay because you guys are all, engaging in the same bad habit. That's why when people drink, they want some sort of drinking buddy, because they're all engaging in the same negative habit. And it's like, I don't drink, and I'm sure, there's times where you can validate drinking with a person to connect with them or some shit like that. You don't need to be doing it every weekend. You don't need to be doing it extremely often. But it's like, once again, I'm not a fan of alcohol, but if that's your thing, that's your thing. And it's like, let's say you just quit that now. You go better yourself, and then you want to drink occasionally, once a month or once a week, whatever it may be. Even if you just put it to the side to figure out your stuff, and then you can implement it back in and see if it was actually benefiting you, see if you actually enjoyed it or not, that's just going to work out for you so much better. Versus still doing it and trying to figure out if it's a good or a bad habit while you have a million other, some good and some bad habits. It's not really, you're not able to test it properly, and you're not able to actually, figure out what it is that's good or bad. And then it's like, you're wasting time. But it's not even just about that. It's just about, like, you're making it harder on yourself than it needs to be. And it just doesn't make sense. Like, and this isn't supposed to be some sort of rant to get you to stop drinking or something like that. It goes for all kinds of things, It goes for eating at McDonald's. It goes for smoking weed. It's like, it's, even if it's a good thing at the wrong time is still a bad thing. So if you cut it out now, put it aside, say, I'm not getting rid of this. I'm just putting it aside for now. I'm going to go lock in over here. I'm going to go figure my shit out. And then I can decide if I want to start smoking again in the future. I can decide if that was something that was actually beneficial. And if it's not something that's it could be something that's not beneficial, but something that's not harmful, and you just enjoy it. That's great, dude. Now, are you ready? Now you've figured your shit out, and you can go smoke weed still. All you have to do is put that aside and decide if it was actually beneficial. And if it's not, and you're a person where your brain chemistry works in a way where you can't smoke and better yourself at the same time, then it might be something that has to go. But you're not going to be able to figure that out unless you put it aside and actually test things out. You're not going to be able to. And it's like, dude, it's easier said than done, but at the same time, it's easier to do it than not do it. Like, it hurts more to not do it than it does to just make it work. It hurts more to not go to the gym than it does to just give in and just, all right, fine, I'm just gonna go and just do the thing and just do it. It hurts more to wait for an hour to decide if you're gonna go to McDonald's or if you're gonna eat your meal prep than it is to just go eat your meal prep.